Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the June 14th, 2021 Board of Public Works and Safety here in Scottsburg, Indiana. So we welcome everyone, and we'll begin by the roll call by our Clerk Treasurer, Jan Hardy.
Mayor Amick.
Here.
Karen Gracious. Here. Tom Lewis.
Here. Okay, all are present. So let's go forward to approve the minutes of the May 24th Board of Works meeting. We have a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Karen Gracious makes a motion to accept the minutes. Is there a second?
I will second.
Any questions, comments about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you very much. Now we'll go to the department heads. First up is Ms. Bixler.
The only thing I have for you guys today were some sewer adjustments. There was a ton of pool adjustments again, so I did do the cover sheet for you guys to sign.
There were pools being filled?
All of them.
No kidding.
Yeah, lots of them, especially with the seat. But that was all I've got for you, unless you have any questions of me.
For whatever reason, I thought we might have one or two.
Yep. I'd say
Or that.
so.
Summer has
It's
arrived.
in full swing, that's for sure.
Exactly. Caught its bus and finally arrived. Anything else for with you? Okay. Bink, you have something for us this evening as well? Thank you.
Some of it's rehash, so we won't go too in-depth on it. There you go. Quickly, sneak in here.
Sure.
First haul road is going to be going through town on the 17th. It's just a 20-footer, kind of a trial to see how things go. We'll have the guys, whoever's on call, will be with them to make sure if we run into snafu in the bow line or
Sure.
make notes of we do need to do anything. Info Solar project, I was supposed to have a meeting with Bill Lepresto. I'm not sure where that's at. I need to contact him again. A couple of weeks ago, we were supposed to set a meeting up and it just hasn't happened yet. Multicolor.
How's that going out there, by the way?
Well, I came in Saturday to check their loads because they had a couple different people that were over the solar park and now are gone. And I was concerned that they might not be turning it down on weekends, but they are. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing with it.
Okay.
But they do not have the automated system in yet. And that was my request to talk to Phil to set the parameters up of what the loading we want on that.
Because we've already done our part as well, but getting that fiber optic out there was part of it.
Yes, yeah, we had it out there.
Right. That we
Week
told
after our
them.
meeting, yes.
Week after our meeting.
The only other issue I've got that is yet to be resolved is our line losses, which a very, very conservative estimate, we're probably losing $1,000 a month because of the transporting the energy a couple extra miles. And I still feel that's worth trying to resolve with INFO.
Yes, have you had an engineer look at that and confirm your concerns?
I have.
Okay, and they do establish that?
Yes, and the $1,000 number I'm using is with the demand number only. It's not the actual consumption, so it'll be greater. And I do need to put together a report, which I'll get with Leslie's office to show exactly what the coincidental peak demand of the entity that's the furthest away to establish the exact number of dollars lost.
And have you contacted MP Engineering at this point?
Now I'm waiting on the meeting with Bill Lepresto.
I'm going to want to make sure we try to go that way first, to make sure that they are knowledgeable of what we're doing, and make sure they are in agreement with that as well.
Right.
So can be part of it.
If you remember, they were denying it would have an effect.
Right, right, right,
I
right.
don't think they can control Ohm's law. That's what it is.
Also, I need to find who their real estate guys, because we do have a request for some property from the new airport owner that they're wanting to buy, to go over to buy their fence. I'm not sure it's quite up to it, but they do own some of that property, so I need to find out who that is. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Multicolor project phase 2, that where we were able to convert them over to underground without shutting them down. We're thinking that on the backside, which is a greater road and longer distance. We'll be starting that tomorrow, thanks to the street department they're going to come down with the backhoe. We've got a real swampy area we got to get dug through and get out to get our conduits in. So
Do you have a track as well?
No,
You don't have no truck there?
no, are you telling me to get one?
No.
No.
Somebody have one.
I'm watching your financials then.
Financial are good, thank you, Ms. Russell.
I look at those every month, all of them, so thank you.
And actually, the last 3 months, I've been somewhat of an anomaly, but we'll take it.
Yep.
It's in a good direction.
It is.
Fourth item on the agenda, Terry Walker. Terry's been in and out of the office, and he's back out in the field now, and Terry never would take his top-out test for fear of the test. And Willie Daniels has worked with him. He works with the apprentices in the field, and Terry finally took his test. I said, well, you got to lose, you fail, you fail. He didn't fail, he got 94%.
Great.
Terry has met all the requirements to move into the journeyman position,
Awesome.
and I would like for the board to make a motion that we promote him into that position. He's one of our key personnel.
Do we have a motion then to do that? Tom Lewis makes the motion to promote Terry Walker into a journeyman position.
I'll second.
Karen Grisham seconds. Is it questions, comments, concerns? What concerns would you have?
Of me?
No, with Terry. Any other concerns there?
Why he hadn't done it sooner.
Huh?
Why he hadn't done it
Okay,
sooner.
there you go. There you go.
My concern.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.
Item number 5, point of pride. My son Dakota, he completed his top-out class. He doesn't have the hours in to take that final step. Excuse me, he should within the next month. Little side note, we've got the Chrome Transformer for whoever does best in Heartland Rescue each year. And Wyatt won that last year. Wyatt did not win it this year, but Dakota did. So we would like to schedule, I'll get with you, Mayor, schedule a time to present that. Last year, because of COVID, we couldn't present it to Wyatt, but we can have Wyatt give it to Dakota. So,
That's a proud dad. You can be very proud of your sons. And
very, very proud.
walking in Dad's footsteps. We have a lineman Hall of Famer among us too. And last year, and because of COVID, we haven't done a very good job there, so we need to do that as well.
At the International Lineman Rodeo in Kansas City, I was inducted at that.
Yeah.
That's the award ceremony.
When is that?
October, third week, I think, of October.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
But the only one of those that's gonna impact payroll right now is Terry Walker.
That is correct.
Right, okay.
Quickly on the fiber, the residential fiber build out. And I've got some thoughts, Mayor, I need to get with you on our smart grid initiatives
Okay?
and how to leverage some monies on that. But right now, I thought we had all the major trunk lines for the north sub installed, but we're down to one need installed. Everything's set up before, they didn't get it done last Friday.
Okay.
Where we had to take off. The MST is still on back order. That's the piece that goes on the pole that supplies fiber connectivity to the house. So we're making progress, not where I'd really like to be, but given the year we've had, I think we're doing fairly well.
Crazy year.
And finally got that 288 up in Karen's neighborhood. I've told her for 3 or 4 meetings that I would do it. It's up. The electric operations and commercial fiber that links all our substations together. It runs past them right now. We're still digging in. Excuse me. We installed a new piece from Owen Street up to Napa, which we were running out of fibers going up around by Lake Iowa and by the Pizza Hut. So now with this extension of that line, we've freed up a lot of fibers, which requires a lot of redesign on the splices. Those are for the most part done now, and Brian's starting to rework those. So that we've had some requests for some dark fiber, and this enables us to go and meet those requests. And that's what the reconfiguration of the splices are. Last item, NyQuil disposal. In 2011, when the tornado went through Henryville, whatever company owns NyQuil donated 2 semi-truckloads of NyQuil. We managed to get rid of 1 semi-load.
When you say NyQuil, what are you talking about?
Little thing you
Makes you
take before you
sleep.
go. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's 0.2 proof alcohol beverage.
So how did you get involved with that?
I have storage space.
So you're renting your space?
If you want to pay it,
I mean, so
the city owns this.
we own the ninth floor?
We own the money.
How many cases do you have?
I have 18 skids. of night.
Oh, there's a lot of them, cases on his head.
Yes. Which translates into one semi-load.
Is it still usable or is it all past date?
There's past dates.
So you have to dispose of it now?
Correct.
Oh, you pay.
The preliminary
And
price.
NyQuil owns you, knows you have this?
Yeah, they brought it to us.
What was the reason they brought it to us?
When we had the disaster with that tornado went through,
No.
and the first load was an asset, the second one was a liability.
Then you have to just give it back to them?
No, I think that's why they gave it to us. But we found a place to dispose of it. We've looked at several options. And actually Willie Daniels has done a lot of the legwork on this. And there's a place in Indianapolis that it's $120 a ton to dispose of it. Each skid weighs 1,230 pounds. And it comes out to roughly between $2,200 and $2,500 per ton paid for it. There's no rush on this. If something else comes up or you see a different way to get rid of it, it's not really
And how many skids you have?
18.
Bless your heart.
I had to go with that semi and set it back to nitro. Just park it there.
Just
It's your problem now.
very, very generous of them at the time, but
Well, we should have been giving back to our community.
we did. We gave to everybody. We gave to a lot of different charity organizations to distribute, and it's one of those things that we saturated the area, and then
Washington County, Jefferson County, Clark County, all those counties too.
I'm not sure of all those. It was church groups coming in to pick them up. We didn't care who they were. We just loaded the truck.
Wow, I had no idea you had that.
Yep.
Wow.
Again, it's not a pressing issue, it's not a real hazardous thing, it's just giving the board some information what we've got and a possibility. Again, it's sat there for 10 years, it's.
10 years. So it's way out of date now.
I don't know if it's like wine, it gets better as it ferments or something, but it is about 22 proof. That's all.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Had no idea about there. I've been through your place, I didn't see it there. So,
It's stacked.
yeah.
I have one question, Pete. On that number one,
Yes.
did I understand you to say we're gonna be reimbursed for some of this?
That is correct.
Okay, because I sent somebody a W-9, was that,
That is correct, yes.
okay.
I've got an invoice, I just gotta get time to send to them. The estimate of what it was going to cost, I overshot it by a lot, so they should be happy, put it that way, but the final number's on in. Plus, we gotta restore everything whenever this is over with, and there'll be another invoice then.
How many more loads we have going through outside of June 17th?
My understanding, they have roughly around 100 loads. They're gonna convoy them. Right now, they're talking about 2 loads, wait an hour, 2 more loads. This will run from midnight to 6 a.m. And me and the other utilities on the line are saying, why don't you just put 4 in a row instead of, Scottsburg won't have to take their lines down and put them up. We raised all levels high enough to where once it started, they just go. But a lot of the other utilities are having to remove their lines. Let the trucks go by, put them back up, and that's why they're saying, okay, so we get them back up, an hour later, comes another truck, we gotta take them back down. So they're still working all this out. But as far as our utilities, we're in good shape, and we'll know for sure June 17th.
So what's the invoice for?
Later.
On our,
Material. We have to move forward.
so we're invoicing them,
Yes.
okay. Is that something we could get to Jane's office, so for her to send out, so we know what clerk treasurer's office should be receiving that?
I do my invoices through Leslie, and,
You guys make sure.
but I will get her a copy, and I'll copy Jan, it's no issue.
Are you coordinating with Chief Zellers as well?
No, I have a question or comment, since you brought it up. We got an email today, and I was gonna ask you if that's what you were talking about, Rick. We got an email today from the Davies County Sheriff's Department telling us basically the same day they're starting on the 17th. After midnight, there will be nightly wide loads coming through town. They'll be coming from US 31 South State Road. I know you guys probably know most of this. And going towards Salem, there'll be concrete towers, could experience power outage. That was my question. Did you say you had somebody with them?
We're gonna escort through the first few loads through town.
Okay, well, I was concerned with the power outage.
Right.
They may have power outage and lane closures, and they're only allowed to do 2 at a time. They'll be going for several nights with five police car escort, and it just goes into talk about the $600 million project that's going to Mitchell, and they gave us contact numbers for the law enforcement. Davies County Sheriff's Department's in charge of it, so we have a phone number. We need to reach out to them, and then they gave us a Ben Walker, familiar with that? He's with Stewart's Heavy Haul. We've got his contact number also.
Okay. I've got several numbers. Ernie, I think's the name I've been dealing
This
with.
email makes it sound like to me they're only allowed 2 towers per night.
Well, the DOT said they want them broke up into 4 units being moved, 2 and then 2. And then the last I heard, the state police said we're not gonna have enough people to man that. And so now the discussion is, can we just not send 4 of them at once?
I don't know. This sounds like the Davies County Sheriff's Department's going to be providing. So I don't, it says Davies County Sheriff's Department. That's over in Washington. That's the captain crew. Unless this is that's how I read it.
And I don't know if they're using multiple routes, but I wouldn't think so. They're offloading this at the Port of Indiana. And
I guess my concern was just on the power outages and stuff like that. If you're going
City of Scottsburg shouldn't have any power outage.
okay, good to know.
Thank you, Bing. Vic, also, you might ask them if they could use any used NyQuil on their way through. That'd be loads coming
There you
through.
go.
We'll lower one line, so they gotta stop right out in front of the shop.
There you go.
Forklift dropping fuel in there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chief, what do you got for us tonight, buddy?
Well, I wanted to bring that up, and I just touched on Vic. Also, let the board know I have once I haven't been here for a while, so to update you on the hiring process. We broke it into, I don't remember the last time I spoke to you, but we did one hiring process. My voice coming and going, so I apologize. And then we opened it up for a second phase. So we did 2 hiring processes basically, where we combined them into one. We had approximately 40 applicants. Out of those 40, through background checks and calling people, we invited 13 people to our agility test.
Wow.
Which we did last Friday. We had 8 show up out of the 13. 4 failed, so I'm down to 4 candidates right now. I interviewed 2 today. I have 1 set up for Wednesday and 1 for Thursday, and I'll probably have a good idea Friday of who I want to hire.
Wow.
So at the next Board of Works meeting, I'll probably contact you guys about phone after Friday and let you know what's going on. But officially, we'll do it the 28th. My recommendation is that we hire if I get the board's approval.
Awesome.
So we've got, out of those 4, they're good candidates. I feel comfortable that we'll get a good hire.
Amen. Thank you so very much. Appreciate the update, brother. Okay, next thing is our,
Mayor, I have one.
yes.
Carmen wanted to let the board know that Jerry is giving asset number 6, which is a 2004 Chevy truck to the broadband department. Just moving it over.
2006,
No, 2004
2004.
Chevy truck.
He's giving it to the broadband.
Yes.
Is it still running?
I'm assuming yes.
That's what's possible. That's what's possible.
And that was asset number 6?
Yes. Does the board have to approve that, or?
We just need the minutes to reflect it, yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of that went on out in the field before, and we feel like this way.
Okay.
And Stacy wants it?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to
Maybe not
confirm.
Stacy, but someone. Yeah.
Pass the trash.
Just
Yeah.
making sure. Okay, the next thing we have is the asset transfer for the parks. I guess that's what you're doing?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Next we have the resolution 2021-R-5 electronic meetings policy brought to you by Josh Digby.
So this is a reaction to COVID. There was, prior to the governor's executive orders allowing electronic meetings, there were only a few state agencies that could meet electronically. So the legislature passed a new law to allow boards and entities basically throughout the state to meet electronically. Just to recap quickly the highlights, more than 50% of the members would have to appear. So one of you guys can take turns missing, going on vacation, and still be present. As long as you're present via a means that we can broadcast and people can see you and you can participate and hear you. If one member is participating electronically, all votes are roll call votes. There are certain things that you cannot participate on and be remote, adopting a budget, reduction of personnel, referendum, opposing or increasing a fee, etc. So there are a few things that you could participate in, but you wouldn't actually be able to vote on if you are electronic. So this is just an adaptation and result of the COVID pandemic.
Does this mean that times we communicated electronically before we were out?
No, the governor's executive order, the very first one, allowed for electronic meetings, and everyone, for the most part, the flexibility that allowed, we made it a priority at this session to make sure that it was. The City of Austin a few years ago, due to several issues, and this board works a few years ago, due to medical issues, had to take extreme measures because there was no other way to meet unless you met in your, basically in your place, or traveled to the place where you could all gather and post. So we had someone in Indianapolis in the hospital, we all had to travel up there so we could have a quorum to pass our budget. So, gives you an example of this has been needed for a long time.
Do you have other questions or comments for council?
I'm going to be out of town the next meeting, so I'll need to figure out how to connect
Okay.
electronically
Okay.
next meeting.
So,
This is so.
Karen, you
this
can't
is so
be,
time.
so you can't be gone next
I
time.
Yeah.
You can take off the following one.
Chief will come and pick you up.
Yeah, okay.
So do we have a motion to go forward with the resolution 2021-R-5?
I'll make a motion.
Karen Gricius makes the motion, Tom Lewis seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you very much. Next we have Jill Baker, the award of the 2021-1 CCMG bids.
I can do it. So we opened bids today, and we had, do they all have this? Remind me one. So there was 6 bids. The low bid was Dave O'Mara, $838,592.88. Mayor, do you have those bid numbers?
I do not.
Gosh, I'll show you that one. So that was the low bid.
838. Is that okay?
And as far as opening, all were responsive, had everything, had their waivers on state required forms. So all responsive bids. Appears that O'Mara is the lowest bid, and I believe that that is the request of this board is to.
That's pretty good bids. I mean, they're pretty
That's
close.
a big difference.
Not that much.
From
The high,
955,
the high one is, you know,
838.
most of the others are pretty close.
Wonder what's 157,000.
That's usually, Karen, because that company's plant is farther from this city.
Oh,
So
okay.
they have to truck
Some of
farther,
that route, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
usually.
So as qualifications, all of us been, everybody's good.
Yes, and actually, O'Mara's who got the last bid and actually started milling this week some areas. So it's gonna
They'll work.
probably work well that
Okay.
it ties hand in hand.
And Jill, basically with these 2 almost $1 million bids, and we're gonna be matching with funding. Time we match with funding, it's gonna be $1 million, right at.
We match.
So we'll be able to pave about 2/3 of Scottsburg with this.
Mhm.
Isn't that great?
Mhm.
And that's gonna be road to road, highway to highway, not piece here to piece there. So it looks like we have great things for Scottsburg coming in, and we're starting this summer.
6
So,
months, we'll do another one.
6 months, we'll do another one.
Wow.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, good.
That's awesome, awesome.
So we do need action to approve,
Okay,
to accept the, low bid.
so, having seen and gone over these bids with Dave O'Meara, being the low bidder, is there a motion to accept the Dave O'Meara bid?
I'll make that motion.
Tom Lewis makes a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen seconds. Any questions, comments about any of this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, the next thing we have is the drainage plan on the Cope property. This is the new property that Bud McIntosh and Lindsay Hopkins, and it was in your packet. So as you can see, it's draining right down. So, is there any questions or comments about their design here? That's the Renaissance Engineering that's before you.
So the part to the right is existing, the part to the left is the new.
That's what it looks like, yes. There was a,
Doesn't look like lot 10 can, it's gonna have enough space with that easement. 100-foot easement, maybe all over the top of it. Anybody know?
I do not know the nature of the easement or what that situation.
One of mine might be difficult too.
I mean,
If they can't build over the top of it. You see what I mean?
I am here with Renaissance, representing this project,
you're the representative of Renaissance?
Yes,
Okay.
so I can answer, I can at least address the
Sure,
question,
sure.
or if I can answer.
Well, I was just concerned about the easement that crosses lot 10 and 9. Is that putting restrictions on them building on those two lots?
I don't have that with me.
Is it this easement you're saying is a
That is,
service?
public, is the wire across, the high.
Let's across the top,
Across the top. That's what the easement's there for.
so they can build on it?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was an underground easement.
No, but we cannot put any type of construction of housing within that easement.
You cannot? Well, then those two lots are no good. You can't go there if you can't put any construction.
I think that's, I believe that's
If that's true.
easement, 100-foot easement.
I'll have to go back and find out specifics on that, but I can tell you that we would not have designed it like that without,
If there was a restriction.
If there was a restriction.
Right. But it's not thought so, but, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's just.
So if it's overhead and they can build on it, then that makes sense. But if it's an easement that is ground related, it's going to restrict it.
Yeah, and all this, I believe, is for the drainage plan.
No, so the easement is not. So
Yeah.
A moot point. Just don't sell me lot 10 or 9.
So,
All right, so what do we need, a motion to approve the drainage plan? Or do we approve it, or we just recommend, or what are we doing?
You would approve it.
We're approving.
do we have a motion to accept the Cope Lane drainage plans?
I will make that motion.
Tom Lewis makes that motion.
I'll second.
Karen Rishis seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns with further on this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you very much. Next is the KDG Moonglow properties. This is the Moonglow 2 for drainage approval. You want to present this one as well, sir?
Yes, sir.
a study on this one?
This is an existing subdivision that we're just adding on to. And it's all, kind of look at your packet there, it's all to the east of, I can't see that particular street, but it's the east of that property. And then it goes down and we make a cul-de-sac down around to the left-hand side of the property there. I do not see, let me show you the sort of properties. So this is a existing subdivision that is currently there. And so the property that we're asking for on drainage would be this part and this part. Let me get the actual site plan here.
So that's there. This right down here is the nursing home. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's my understanding, is this is gonna be Moonglow Road going through here,
This is Wilson Road.
and then this would be, Wilson Drive, almost right across from here, then this would be the Hampton Road.
Okay, so the next part of that, this is the actual layout that we are proposing. This is the existing pond, there's 38 lots total. Really the only kind of street work, if you want to call it, would be this little cul-de-sac right here. But as far as civil work, dirt work, it's existing as it is, and so we're just going to work with what's there. As far as drainage goes, the only thing, because there's already street grates along the road, we'll have collection into here and then pump it over to this. Not pump it, but drain it into there.
Drain pond. Okay.
And it's my understanding that the property was already designed with this in mind, so there's not a whole lot of effort that needs to happen to do anything as far as drainage is concerned.
I mean, new lots, did you say?
38.
38.
All of this, the main thing the city's going to do is help the developer in this section here. And we're actually also putting, water and sewer to all of these, but that street's already there.
Right.
So I guess what I'm talking, basically, I'm talking about the street, the road improvements. So the city will put this in, as well as water and sewage and storm drainage. So, questions, Tom?
No, it's pretty straightforward there.
Karen, questions? Okay. All right. So, we would accept then a motion to go forward with the drainage plans on Moonglow 2.
So move.
Tom Lewis so moves on drainage plans on Moonglow 2. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grisham seconds. Questions, comments, concerns about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, sir. Next thing is the Farm Credit Mid-America drainage plans. Is that you, sir?
That is.
Come on up.
All right.
You have quite a series here. You have a large packet, don't you?
Yes, it is. I'm doing, so Farm Credit would like to construct a new financial office on the corner of Boatman and 56. But we do have a new 911 address for that place. It's an old farm, existing farm. I forget whose farm it is, but the port was. The drainage, it's all draining to a piping system going into a on-site detention.
So basically, this is on the corner of Boatman and Highway 56. This is the Charlie Hauser property.
Yes.
And where are you going to drain this to?
On-site detention.
There is a lake there, isn't there? Is that where you're draining it into?
No.
No.
Constructing now.
It's a grassy area.
It's a big farm, it's a crop field.
So let's see, there's North Aris. Here it is, right? North Aris is what this is Boatman. It's 56 down here.
It's right across from the Soil Water Conservation District
Right.
office, directly across from it.
Okay.
And that's going to be a retention area?
Correct.
Area.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
And that's designed for what?
100 year.
100 year flood?
Correct.
Okay.
What was it about Rule 5?
Just a site disturbance, because it was over an acre.
Okay.
Disturbing for regrading the site and elevating the building.
Okay.
It's pretty flat up there.
I've been through this, and you have a tremendous amount of calculation.
Yes, the engineer directly working with this, he goes into depth with those.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that's why he's got a stamp.
So, if we approve this and something's not right, he's still liable since he stamped it, right?
Okay, okay. So,
I mean, he's got a stamp, so he's
I
an
see.
engineer, he should know what he's doing.
yeah,
And if there are further questions, I can obviously.
yeah. Any questions, comments then?
Looks like they got it covered, I mean, as far as
Tremendous amount of,
drainage. So, need a motion.
are you good? Yeah, let's take a motion to approve. Tom Lewis makes a motion to approve the Farm Credit Mid-America drainage plans. Is there a
I'll
second? Karen Grisham seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved, unanimous, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
What's that?
So thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Mr. Freed. Next thing we have is the Zach Morse farm lease. Have you had a chance to go through that? I have a question to our legal counsel. I probably missed that as I had the Evelyn Reed speed reading course in college, counsel, but where is it on here that delineates the amount and when it's due? The amount of rent owed and when it's due. Huh?
I've got two sheets
Page
there,
2.
2 of 9, it's got
Two
the,
of 9.
34 acres of $100.
I see that, okay, yeah. Guess I didn't go back far enough.
I got 2 of 9. Mine was blank.
2 of 9.
This must be the new one.
My blank, my 2 is blank.
Yeah.
I got your,
You got my 2?
I wanted y'all to talk and share, so I just,
Okay, let's share.
And before, never mind, counsel, it's been answered. Thank you so much.
It's a typical term, I'm sure I included.
Thank you very much. So you see the amount there, and has anybody seen the amount of corn per bushel lately?
No.
It's very good.
Oh, good.
About $7 a bushel. So for corn, that's very good. Beans are way up as well. So anyway, be very good for these guys. So is there a motion to go forward and ratify the Zach Morse farm lease?
I'll make a motion.
Karen Grisham makes the motion. Is there a second?
I was second.
Tom Lewis seconds. Questions? Anything about this lease? It's quite entailed. Legal counsel did an amazing job as usual.
Hey, by the word. That's not true, but.
We used to write turntables like that too, didn't we? We have a first and a second. Questions, comments, concerns?
Mayor,
So, yes, ma'am.
where is that located?
That location is directly south of the electric department's property. So that's where the water tower's at on I-65. So we're going to lease that ground out. Right. Good question. So, we had another one releasing down by the wastewater plant as well. We're leasing that one out as well, but to a different vendor. So, is there a motion to go forward and ratify the Zach Morse lease?
We did.
We did that? Okay, so we've done the questions, comments, we just answered the comments, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're united here, so, that passes, thank you very much. Now we have the opening bids of real estate on Highway 31. Is this, counsel, is that you?
There's the bid.
You got one?
Got one. Here you go, Mayor. It's on that
All right, this is Bitumen Supply.
one. Like this. And thank you, need that.
Yes. purchase price of $32,850. See, got the deposit of $1,000 marked in with an additional $500 earnest money.
How many acres?
I think this is exactly the 2 acres. Is that right?
Look,
2
that's
point,
I think it's 2 and change.
2.048. So our notice was the average of the 2 appraisals, which was $32,850. So that was our offering price, was the $32,850. All right, there's no conditions. So it gives a cash offer of $32,850. And we've already had the survey back of this, so we would probably be a 30 to 45 day close. It wouldn't take too long. This is Bitumen, BITUMEN Supply LLC in Charlestown, Indiana.
And this is 2 acres over, basically behind where Bink is at, behind our electrical department. So,
And the notice did require a $1,000 down payment, and there is a $1,000 check payable to the city that is included. So it does appear to be in order and meet the notice.
is there any questions about this?
So, did we not require more than one bid or not?
Yeah, we put it out for bid.
It was
We
noticed
received
and
the one.
published, and
So there was no requirement for more, receiving more than one bid?
we published notice, and then,
Okay.
you know, we try.
All right. Fair enough.
So, is there a motion to accept the bid as presented?
I will make that motion.
Tom Lewis makes a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grish seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. Now next for our clerk treasurer, Ms. Funny.
I would just like a motion to accept the claims as presented.
I will make that motion.
Tom Lewis
And
makes a
I will
motion.
second.
Karen Grish seconds to accept the claims as presented. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are accepting the claims as presented. Jan, anything else for us?
Could we, you want me to update the board on that we're going to be meeting with the engineer again with another call on Wednesday? Well, there's money out there from IFA, and it's for water, sewer, stormwater. There's some grant money available. They'll be giving 2 rounds this year. The deadline is July the 15th. So we have reached out to Midwestern engineers who are doing our wastewater treatment plant. We looked into applying for that in-house and decided it was going to take more expertise than we were able to offer, and time was of the essence. So we got with Julie Berry, and also then we did a conference call last Friday morning, and they're very much in favor of working with us. So the good news is that our sewer plant, the match, that we can count that investment there, the $13 million investment, as our match if we're able to get this. So if we can get the grant money, it's going to, you know, and that would be to be relining pipes, which we've heard that we would. They're going to be answering some of our questions to see if it hurts our chances if we apply, because the Clearwell, I know you all have heard that we've had issues there with our water for some time with it leaking. We're retreating the water, we're not losing it, but if we could get it fixed for a minimal amount compared, and you know. So.
And she talked about 2 separate things. You have the water, drinking water, which is the Clearwell. We're able to store probably 2 million gallons right now with our 3 water tanks and the Clearwell. And you know, so, but the Clearwell is leaking. We have it in 2 halves, and 1 half of that is leaking, and it's been leaking for a while. And I was going to try to repair this. We had the money to do this last year. We'd make it a little bit tight, but I had heard that this was about June. I heard about this. And so we knew that grants were gonna come available this year. So I took a gamble to see if we could get the grants and using our funding there. So that's kind of what this is about there. But I wanted to go forward and begin a process that this administration starts to line pipes every year. We are videoing to finding the worst pipe because we have 8 to 8 inch to 10 inch to 12 inch clay vitreous tiles that are butted together. They're 70 years old plus, and we have a lining process. We put this out on bids. It's $40 a foot, but we want to begin lining. We want to begin doing a mile or 2 miles a year. But with this grant, we might be able to do more than that. So that's why we are meeting. This is where the federal government is giving our state a lot of money, and we are going after that money to try to get as much lining for the people as possible.
It's July, the deadline on this, the first round is July the 15th.
Yeah.
And it says in the most frequently asked questions, we will know if we get awarded by August the 6th. So put that at the top of your prayer list. You know?
And we all met on last Friday. We're meeting again this Wednesday to get all this done and everything that the government needs to go forward.
So you're saying, just make sure I'm clear, that the company that's doing the wastewater treatment plant is assisting with this or taking the lead on this?
They're assisting us with that,
Yes.
because they will have to figure out the cost of the project and do the drawings and help with that. Like I said, we got in, we could have sent in the survey, but then it wanted to know the cost of the project and description on it, so we knew that would take more expertise
So
than
they're
what we did.
kind of helping us with the intention that they'll get to work or it's on board.
And I did ask them their fee for that, but it's included in the grant, so, but I made that very clear on Friday.
This is the same company that's done the redesign,
Right.
and they've just been fantastic. So yeah.
Sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, we're trying to stay on top of the grant money to the best of our ability.
So bring me up to date with what they're doing in Spindlewick.
Spindlewick is almost complete.
What are they?
And what we're doing is we're slip lining.
Lining
We're
that.
slip lining that pipe. You've got a major area that is collapsing due to the eradication of that galvanized pipe. And it's affecting, I'm not telling you, it's not going to affect you, it's not going to affect a lot, but there's several people it's affecting, and it's about $90,000. And so I feel the city needs to go forward and fix that for these prairie crops over there. So that is, and
They've been working over there.
yeah. And part of this actually went into part of the house over there, in a garage. And so this will resolve all of those issues.
Good.
So slip lining it, filling it up, and
It's almost done.
almost done. Matter of fact, I think tomorrow maybe is done. I think. I talked with our street department, and if it's not tomorrow, it's the next day. I mean, they're almost totally completed with that. But good question. And so that's going to be a huge relief off of those folks. Chuck, I think you're aware of that as well. Because, slip lining all the spikes over Spindlewick, that a big 36, 48-inch pipe. I mean, it was a big, large pipe. And so we've been able to put, I think it was 400 feet or something like that.
So with the partial floods, did it damage the garage?
It did not. It has not affected the garage as of that point. But that was what we were afraid of, that we want to get this thing complete so that that person's not affected. So, for sure. So while it didn't affect all of Scottsburg, it affected those folks over there in that part of Scottsburg. And so,
It's kind of a mess right there.
exactly. So, so right now, it's all been done, and for years and years and years to come. So very good thing. Other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, according to my timepiece, we're about 10 minutes early. So,
Way to look at it.
any other questions, comments, concerns? We have a motion to adjourn.
I think I'm
We're adjourned. Thank you very much.